Hey guys and gals, this is Alex with Legendary Apartment Brokers here in Kansas City. Today is Monday, February 17th, 2025. This is the KC Multifamily Minute, and we're taking a look at everything coming new on the market in Kansas City. That's a multifamily opportunity that is somehow or some way related to being, we'll call it around $5 million or less. A lot of times we cover those that are over that. But as we do every single week, let's get right into some statistics here. And first up, okay, we talked about last week that I would promise you the difference between LoopNet listings and the MLS listings. So right now, podcast listeners, I've got my website pulled up, legendaryapartmentbrokers.com, and you can see all the new multifamily listings here on Zillow. And then now I'm switching over to the tab that is LoopNet, which is CoStar powers all of those listings there. That are multifamily, and I got different filters on here, but so just to talk about, as we always do every week, the statistics of what's going on. So there's somewhere around 52 listings out there, 30 of which are available, which means there's 22 that are under contract, pretty consistent, somewhere around 15 to 25 that are under contract at any given moment in this market. Again, this is filtered for $500,000 plus, and 2020 year construction or older on the MLS. So again, you've got about 30 you can go out there and look at, $500,000 plus. Most of those, or many of those, are going to be $500,000 to $1.5 million, as you would expect. Okay. Now over on LoopNet, there are about 31 listings that are out there, and there's about 5 that are marked as pending, which means there's about 25 over there that you can go out and get. And there's a couple new ones this week too. We've got 3 total new ones that's across LoopNet and the MLS that we're going to talk about. But what about the differences between the two? With so many listings, somebody would think, well, gosh, maybe there's 80 to 200 different listings I can look at between the two platforms. But diving down deeper into the two different platforms, the difference between the MLS and LoopNet, there's actually 65 total available listings out there right now. Okay, so that's across, and that really also, I've removed the new filter, so anything that's ever been built up through today is also included in that number. So if you're paying attention to both LoopNet and the MLS, you're doing good, okay? And so the difference between those two is about 20% more. There's 20% more listings if you include LoopNet into your MLS search. I know some people say that, well, LoopNet's dead or CoStar's dead or listings aren't there or whatever. There's 20% more in the multifamily space on LoopNet. Now, most of those are going to be $5 million plus. We'll call it $3 million plus. When you look at running all the filters and everything, $3 million plus, a lot of those are even listed as unpriced, but we know based on the size of those that they're way above $3 million. Matter of fact, there's a couple new listings, or at least one new listing this month or this week that is unpriced, but it's 100 plus units, so it's hardly worth talking about from my investor standpoint. And it's in Overland Park, looks like a newer construction. So you know that the price per unit is probably $150,000, $200,000, maybe even more per unit, just right off the top based on the location and the vintage. Okay. So that's the difference between the two platforms. You got to pay attention to both of them. You're going to get 80% of the listings if you only focus on the MLS, but there's 20% more opportunity if you focus on MLS and LoopNet. Okay. Now let's get right into the new listings. Over the last 7 days, over the last week here, what do we have for new? Well, we've covered, I have it filtered down here. This is my website. The MLS powers this. And I've got this filtered down to the last 7 days. It's 2020 or older construction. And there's 2 new listings here. One of them is 38th and Washington. It's a fourplex for $625. Doing the math on that, it's over $150,000 per unit. They look pretty nice. It's a great location. I'm going to zoom in here for YouTube viewers here. I'm zooming in. It's right in the heart of Midtown. Oops, excuse me here. And that is right here. It's about 4 or 5 blocks away from a streetcar stop, west of Broadway, but east of Southwest Traffic Way. Great little location on 39th. Remember, I say this all the time, but I've got a 5-plex on 39th and Main, so I'm very familiar with this location. Rents, if they're all 2 bedrooms, should be able to get $1,200, $1,250 per unit if you've got the right finishes in there and appropriate off-street parking. So that's something to consider. If you've got a 1031 exchange, this is a Class A or A- location, depending on your views there. It is urban core, but it is close to Plaza. It is close to downtown, Crown Center, etc. It is close to the streetcar extension. So consider that. But if you've got a 1031 exchange, you want something somewhere around 500 to $1 million. You like the urban core style, classic kind of colonnade. Well, I guess it is a colonnade building. This could be a good opportunity for you. I think it's a little overpriced, but let's dive into the numbers. Maybe they've got better rents than what I'm expecting. Okay. So that is the first opportunity here. Now let's pull back out and take a look. There is another opportunity which I like. It's in the suburbs. I actually like it quite a bit. It's in Grain Valley, which is going to be a Class B plus location, A minus location. Fourplex out here, just south of I-70, heart of Grain Valley. Zooming in here, units maybe are not up to the modernist of standards, but they look pretty good. They got some mix of stainless steel appliances, LVP flooring. You could do a refresh on these, maybe spend $10,000 to $15,000 if you wanted to per unit, live in one unit, rent out the others. But this is a fourplex for $535,000. They all have garages. I love this style because you don't have too much on the owner expense side of the house. So you got a lot of opportunity here. This is an appreciating area. I've seen fourplexes in this area go for $550,000, maybe even $600,000. The school district in Grain Valley is doing very well. It's a progressive town that is growing across all of its asset classes, and really having an increase in the number of residents that are there. Blue Springs, Lee Summit, Grain Valley, I like those three areas a lot, Eastern Jackson County. So again, you got a 1031 exchange. You got maybe $500,000, $600,000 you can spend. You're looking for an affordable fourplex that's not $600,000 plus. This is an interesting opportunity to at least look at. If you're an active investor and you are looking for fourplex, do the market research. You're not going to see a lot of fourplexes under $600,000, especially those with garages. Okay, so Class A location, A minus location, active investor or 1031 exchange, somewhere around that $500,000, $600,000 range. Let's take a look together. Okay. And you can email me, Alex at legendaryapartmentbrokers.com. We can look at these and I can negotiate on your behalf. Really appreciate you taking the time to listen. I don't want to take any more of it. This is Alex Olson with Legendary Apartment Brokers. We'll talk to you soon.